Welcome everybody. I'm going to be playing a game of Dominions 5. And this is a pretty fitting background because I am going to be playing an aquatic nation. So let's hop right in with a random map. I think we will keep everything standard, except I'm going to do wraparound in both directions this time. Okay, last time we did early ages, so this time we will do middle ages. Civilization has continued to make progress, and modern technologies like iron are now available to most nations. Mages have lost some of their former power, and magic resources are not as abundant as before. Okay, I think I'm going to add in... Let's see... Last time we did 4 players total. This time we'll do 6 players total, I think. Make the map a little bit larger, although it might not feel quite that much larger since it wraps around in both directions now. Let's see what all difficulties they have. Quite a few. We're gonna bump them up to difficult. Oh, we need one more. I'm not that great at this game, so difficult is probably actually going to be difficult for me. I definitely watch some other people on YouTube play Mighty and Master and stuff like that. So, let's see, they're all set to random. I'm going to set myself to Random Water Nation. I haven't looked at them really, so I'm just going to let it give me one. I might like it, I might not. I think, how many are there exactly? I think Atlantis down are all the water nations. And I'm gonna make this video just setting up my pretender god and the game and everything. If you just want to see the gameplay, you can skip to the next video. Sometimes I take a while designing my god. You'll probably get a good estimate on how long it takes me based on this video's duration. Anyways, let's make sure this is all set up correctly. Difficult, random AI type. Everyone's random except me. I'm a random water nation. That looks good. Okay, we are Oceania, Myrmidons. Oceania is an underwater realm of half-men. Since the Atlanteans emerged from the deeps, the half-men have lost more and more of their former domains. Ravenous deep ones have consumed fish and kelp alike. The kelp groves have been desecrated and murky water has spread in the kelp. Only with the fall of the star was the Atlantean onslaught halted. The star spawns of the sunken city enslaved the Atlanteans and consumed their will. During the war between Atlantis and R'lyeh, a new god emerged from the depths and the Capricorns were able to muster their forces. Now is time to reclaim the deeps and conquer the world. The Capricorns, wild mages of the sea and the shores, lead the nation in the conquest of a sea once theirs. Sirens, mermaids with shape-shifting powers who lure men to watery graves with their beautiful songs, aid them in conquering the shores. Okay, so let's see. Underwater race. Amphibious half-men, light infantry, medium infantry, sacred, Afroi, itch to centaurs. I think that's this guy. Magic, nature, water, some air, and earth. Mages weaker on dry land. Powerful, underwater only. So that's interesting. Plan on doing a Throne of Ascensions game. So, I knew there'd be difficulties to overcome being an aquatic nation. Especially, a lot of them don't have many of their forces are purely aquatic. We'll have to see about these guys. Dominion, +1 turmoil in coastal provinces, +1 order in other provinces. buildings, primitive forts, temples cost 200. So that's pretty cheap. For temples, at least. Primitive forts, I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, that sounds like we have worse forts on average than the other nations. I'm not exactly sure what sort of penalties that implies. Okay. I haven't really inspected this race before, so let's just look over all of our units and get an idea of what we're working with. So we have our scout. Scouts are amphibious, stealthy, and have recuperation, which is heals afflictions over time. Loses its effect once the unit gets old. Okay, so I guess like wounds in battle and stuff, you can shed them. So it's just a scout. Stealth 40 is, I think stealth 50 would be kind of like the average number. Anyways, it is amphibian, so sea as well as land. They do not suffer movement reductions while fighting underwater. And I think that's a pretty good map move, 18. I think for a non-like cavalry unit, that's pretty good. So we have the Ichtasader commander. Whew, I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing all these names. So I guess I don't know why they're called satyrs, since they're more like mermen. I always assumed satyr was the half goat. Is always like half goat. Maybe it has another meaning. Anyways, same abilities as the scout, but it looks like it can lead 40 units, which is pretty small. That's what, +0 for up to 2 squads. The scouts, yeah, they can't lead anything. Can also be recruited in coastal forts. So this is interesting. What does this say? Okay. 2 units. The Afroy Lord and the Afroy. 3 nature gems, 2 water gems. So I guess we can also be recruiting coastal forts. So I guess that means they can be recruited underwater and on the coast. Does that mean these guys can only be recruited underwater? We'll find out. Let's see, we have the I don't know how to pronounce that. Ichtasader commander. I'll go with that. Same abilities once again, just no stealth. +1 for up to 3 squads, so this is a decent leader. And I think that's about it. Okay, so he actually has, looks like horse legs and a tail. These guys just have a tail. Siren. So these are the shape-shifting ones. Can also be recruited in coastal forts. Okay, so this is our first mage, water mage, amphibian, all. Okay, so it looks like attackers have to make a morale check to attack this unit. Quite stealthy. Recuperation and chaos recruitment. I haven't seen this one before. This unit is easier to recruit in provinces with turmoil. Upon recruitment, this amount of gold will be returned per level of turmoil in the province. Okay, that's interesting. So if you get it up to, I guess 3 is the cap, since it's one of your dominion like skills. So you could get 30 gold off, which is pretty neat, but I don't know if that's worth dealing with the turmoil. Okay, so it says she has a different form when she's above water. A goal with the head and torso of a woman. While hiding in a coastal province, a siren can attempt to lure commanders to a watery grave. Sirens are mages of water and air. I don't see any air. While underwater, they lose their air magic skills, but gain... Okay. Gain water magic skills, so it switches their magic path based on if they're above or below water. So we want to... I guess we want to have these units like patrolling the shores, and it's kind of like a really unique type of assassin, I suppose, because we try to lure people into a watery grave. I'm not exactly sure what sort of mechanic, if like we have to actually fight them once they're in the water, maybe, or if there's just like a chance for them to drown. I don't know how that works. Okay, we have a Hierophant. So this is our first priest. They get a little bit of magic, a little bit of research, stealthy, and inspirational. So they're pretty subpar leader, but they do get +1 morale. Got a Haliade. Water and nature. Level 2 priest also. What is this? Aquatic. So these cannot leave the sea. All recuperation and supply bonus. That means basically each area of the map, each province has so many supplies to support soldiers moving around. So this adds 20 to that, whatever province this unit's in. Very expensive. So-so leadership. Let's see. Capricorn. Okay, ooh. Quite powerful nature mage. They get another skill. There's the research ability. Amphibian. So I guess this is all, but it only works for animals. Also stealthy. We have quite a few stealthy options. Supply bonus. Beastmaster. So I think that's what, plus morale to commanding animals. Gift of water breathing. So it can take like non-aquatic or amphibian units underwater with it. And it's also got chaos recruitment. And these are the ones that can only be recruited in the capital. So it's sacred, amphibian, recuperation, poison barbs, and inspirational. So you got poison barbs. Anyone striking with a short weapon, length no more than 1, will get poisoned. That's pretty neat. Wonder how much damage it does. So I don't think I saw anyone with more leadership than 80. This seems pretty affordable though, so these guys are pretty neat. Let's see. We only had level 2 priests though. Okay. They can also be blessed, only require half the usual cost to maintain, so it's worth considering. It might be best to use sacred units to research, just because upkeep will make them cheaper in the long run. So that's like 15 research, and it's going to cost, I think it would normally cost 32.5 to upkeep, so this would be like 16. So it's about 1-for-1 upkeep. What else do we have for research? So this one might be more affordable. 13. Yeah, this be a like what 60 something or 6 gold a turn for 7 research. So I think sacred researchers do end up being more affordable in the long run. Okay, let's look at our units. Undisciplined, they are stealthy though, so very basic units. Poor protection, average in most other areas. Same unit, but it has a shield. Guess that ups its defense skill. Okay, so these are basically the same units, but now they're adding armor onto them, so a little more protection. Once again, I think it's pretty much the same thing, just a little bit different loadout than the other soldier. Myrmidon, what's this one? Formation Fighter. A formation fighter is well drilled in using tight formations and can fit more units in one square. That's really good because you get extra attacks off. So normally you can fit 6 units of size in a square, so that'd be like 3 of these guys. I think formation fighter might just add 1 to that, so it'd be 4 in a square. Anyways, pretty good protection. Attack and defense are decent. So these are pretty neat. Not kind of expensive as far as resources and recruitment points go. Gold-wise, they're quite affordable. Okay, so now we're getting to more, I think these are going to be like cavalry type units. Well, they don't have trample. Good health. Otherwise kind of average. Let's see, map move. I don't want map move. What is the combat move rating? Combat speed 25. So what do these more normal units get? 22. Okay, they're not that much faster. Anyways, cataphracts. Looks like a little bit better version of the last one. Lots of health, lots of strength, so high damage berserkers, I mean that's what they are. I think these have a little more protection than the other ones. Yeah, that's it. And these are our sacred units, so they're kind of like, they have the poison barbs like the commander version of them. Good health. Otherwise kind of, defense is pretty good. Strength is higher than average. And we have these 2 types of units. So what's up with them? Stealthy, disciplined. What is the difference between those guys and these guys? Only recruited in coastal forts. They're very similar. I'm noticing some slight differences. This one's a little more defense, costs a little more resources, just at a glance. I guess they're just like the land-going versions. I don't know, they wanted the ones recruiting Coastal Force to be a little different. Anyways, I think we have an idea of what we're working with. We have one sacred unit, pretty expensive. So let's consider what we want out of our god. So we're mostly water and nature magic. Whoa. I've never seen this one before. It's got crab claws. Okay, he's a water mage and aquatic. His insane map movement, but of course he has to stay underwater. Okay, so I guess he can pretty much just like, I don't know if he's limited to map move or something, but it sounds like he just like appears anywhere he wants in the oceans. I'm guessing this is the combat version. Okay, yeah, so he can teleport around in combat also. That's pretty interesting. Let's see, we can take the Hydromancer, Archmage, and here's one of our guys, Alpha Sage, kind of like the our sacred units. He's not strong at all, so he probably wouldn't bring him into combat. But it's cheap to get new magic paths for him, and he kind of has the same you know, abilities that we've been seeing on most of our units. Supply bonus, recuperation, stealth, amphibian. So people cannot teleport away from him? Except he can still teleport, I guess, because he has that ability it's talking about. Void Sanity. Okay, so normally when a lot of people, like a lot of units attack one unit in a turn, it gets like a stacking penalty to its defense check. But this one ignores it for up to 10 units, it sounds like. Oh, can mind blast people for what looks like a ton of damage, so 100 range, I think that's about the size of a whole field. Might be good to have an amphibian god so we can use it to capture Thrones of Ascension. Otherwise we're only going to have our prophet. At the same time I kind of want this giant jellyfish, or floating mind as it's called. Thinking maybe, what was it? That has water and nature. We could get this one with air, water, and nature. Or we could get this one with water and astral and really good research. Might go with this one. Unfortunately, not very many interesting abilities, or not really any at all. But it's a pretty solid selection. I'm not sure. Can air magic be used underwater much? That might make it less appealing. Pretty bummed out this thing's not amphibious. I mean, it makes sense, but it's pretty cheap. And I like it otherwise, and I really want to take it. That uses so many points, though. Why is this one cheaper for us? It has water magic, but there are other ones that seem to fit us better. I could do a statue and just teleport it around with astral magic, if we find a good one. We'll do, let's see, 230 or 240, both about the same price. I'm going to choose between one of these two, or her. Water, death, and nature. That's both of our main schools, and also death. This one has our main schools plus air. no, I don't really want fire because I can't use that underwater, I'm pretty sure. I might go with Lord of the Waves. And I'll leave him, make him at least dormant. Okay. What did I want? Okay, Dominion. +1 turmoil in coastal provinces, +1 order in other provinces. I don't know what if the order benefits us. I mean, obviously order's good because it gives, let's see, where is it? Order gives a little bit of everything. Turmoil hurts you for the most part, but it gives you more events. I don't think 6% more events is worth it. Let's get that to at least 7. Let's bump these up to at least 4. I want some decent scales this game. Don't think I'll do magic. We don't have that many mages to choose from. We've got our siren. We've got our this unit. Pretty expensive for not a whole lot of magic skills. This one's pretty good, but it's also expensive. Chaos recruitment, though. So income and resources, income, supplies and growth, income, unrest reduction, recruitment points, resources, less events. Let's start looking at bless. What we might want. Don't think we have much use for range attacks. We have a couple mages, but I don't think we had any archers. Is there anything expensive in one of these that we really want? So it would probably be, we have recuperation on almost everyone already. Yeah, they already have recuperation. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go much more in than this for bless effects. Let's just give them poison resist, I guess. And low light vision in case, I don't know, in case that comes into play. I'm thinking defense and minor cold resist. And for air, swiftness. And let's see, minor shock. I guess precision. Do I want to go imprisoned? I'm not using any incarnate bless effects. Leaning towards yes. Maybe I even invested too much in magic. I'm not sure. I'll just keep that neutral. We'll do this. I don't know if it's really good. We got some pretty decent scales going on, and a little bit of magic and bless effect. We'll just keep that name. Okay, game settings. I'm gonna keep it pretty much standard this time. I'll allow renaming even though I probably won't use it. We'll do random start research. And Thrones of Ascension, we're gonna mess with this. So we have 6 nations. Thinking maybe 1 level 3, 2 level 2s. That's 6 points. No, 7. $10 points in total. Maybe you need, what, 7 to win? What would that be? All the level 3s and 2s. All the level 1s and the level 2s. We'll get rid of the level 3 throne for a game this small, and we'll... Let's see... 8 thrones in total. You need 7 points to win, so that means at a minimum you need the 2 level 2 thrones and 3 of the level 1 thrones, or you need, if you're unlucky, you get all the level 1 thrones and have to get a level 2 throne after that, which would be all but 1. Let's bump it up to 7 of 11 points. That looks pretty good. And I think with that, we'll start the game. Okay, so these are the generic starting messages. I'll let you pause it if you want to read it. Okay, let's just take a peek at the map and check who's in the game. So let's see, how do I do that? Here we go, we have Abyssia, Pangea, Jotunheim, Nazca, Phaecia. Abyssia is like fire demons. Pangea, I think, is that the one with like Enkidu's? I don't remember for sure. Jotunheim, I think that's giants. Nazca, that might be Aztec. And I didn't remember the last one. That might be one of the new ones. Anyways, let's scroll out and look at the map. So, if you remember, I set it to loop in both directions, or wrap in both directions, so we can keep going up and we'll find ourselves again, and we can keep going sideways and we'll also find ourselves again. Let's count the thrones. I think we had, did we have what, 9 thrones in total? 2 level 2 and 7 level 1, quite a few. So we have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's see, we got 2 in the water. There aren't any other water or aquatic nations. Those should be freebies. We got a coastal one here, and I think that's the only coastal one. So we'll definitely have to work for some of these interior ones. One's in a lake though, so once we get that, we can probably hold it very well. Let's see, this one. No, I guess that's landlocked because this is land, yeah. So let's see, this is, oh, this is actually coastal, I believe. How do I check? Farmland, yes. I didn't actually realize that was there before, but I do know now. Farmland and mountains. So that tells you a little bit about it. Mountains have low income, excellent resources, and more magic sites. Farmland has high income, low resources, and fewer magic sites. I don't know if that just cancels each other out. Okay, so gotta look at where we've started. Let's turn the map filters on before I forget. I like to have the income box and the Dominion candles. And next time we're going to get started playing the game, so I'll see you then.